handle the truth.
Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let's make up the date. Oh, wait, I don't have to do that. The government tells me every day. Government knows best. Right, government? You would never lie to me. We'll call it February 9th. It's a Monday, 2026. Well, guys, thank you so much for being a part of the show. Well, looks like we had the usual going-ons about this time of year. The Super Bowl was yesterday. I call it super dull because I do believe the things that I saw and watched were really not worth watching. Everybody was so listen, guys, this is why I think it's all bullshit. I mean, and I mean bullshit. Because nobody paid attention to the game. The game was like literally 1% of everything else that went on for the last 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl started 2 weeks ago. We had people showing up in San Francisco. We had the Super Bowl experience. We had, we had Media Row. We had all this stuff going on, right? My point of this is that what about that has anything to do with tackling or blocking or throwing a ball or catching a ball or running with a ball or any of that stuff? So for 2 weeks, people prepped and got ready and had the had the Pro Bowl stuff where DeJour Sanders bothered to go ahead and be somebody. So DeJour Sanders, who has more interceptions than he has completed catches, more interceptions than he has touchdowns. More interceptions than he has touchdowns, was voted to the Pro Bowl. He had 2 votes, one for himself and someone else bothered to vote him in. And because someone else was not able to make it into the whole thing, this is what the NFL's become. When you have people like DeJour Sanders. Now this is Barry Sanders. Is that right? Is it Sanders? No, it's not Barry Sanders. The other Sanders, Deion Sanders. So Deion thought it'd be a great idea to name his kid DeJour, and I'm looking at this whole thing. Now, he gets in there, but we also have the Colin Kaepernick thing. We have the whole idea of what the NFL is trying to do with all their social justice warrior stuff. They had the Bad Bunny experience yesterday where they had the halftime show, which I saw parts of it. I mean, I can't say I saw 100% of it, but I saw a lot of it, and I will tell you it was like, wow, this is what you guys... So you guys had the opportunity to do the halftime show, and you went and got sugarcane and an old Ford truck and then danced around in white supposed linen clothes. Now, how is that part of Puerto Rican or whatever heritage that you were supposed to be representing? This is the part I don't understand. Like, these people go out of their way to really not represent what it is they're trying to represent. But that's just me. Anyway, NFL is getting fined and sued over the last night's game, all of the filthy language. Oh, oops. Well, and I do believe that there's going to be an opportunity where I think that there's going to be a lot of things in this whole thing with this Hispanic and the Puerto Rican point of view and all this being brought to light. So many times I see them, I see things bubble up, and then all of a sudden, like Minnesota, and then, New York, and California, and Hawaii, and, see what I'm saying, all this stuff. So I think when we see that, we do see that there is an awful big opportunity for exposure, which I think is going to be happening over the next few weeks, and people will be listening and tearing apart and doing all the simulations and seeing where they put all the bad stuff in there. Now, guys, Did they advertise to you on a television channel somewhere that I didn't know about, where they told you they were going to be as pure as the driven snow and that they weren't going to do any demonic or evil things to lead you on a path of unrighteousness, right? They didn't say that, right? They said they didn't say anything about they were going to keep it straight and narrow. They didn't say anything like, oh, we're not going to put any demons into our show, or we're not going to put any, different things like this and that. I mean, this is, again, where I see so much of this, and I'm like, guys, they didn't tell you they were going to be good people. Jeff did not say, I am only going to rape, kids every Thursday. He didn't promise you he wasn't going to do things. And so as they do things and as they continue to do them, don't be surprised that they're doing what they do. This is what they do. So a lot of the commercials, things I did bother to see here or there, I am unimpressed. I think the Dunkin' Donuts commercial that I saw that had like 10,000 separate actors in it, I thought that was way overdone. I mean, just way too far overdone. I didn't think it was funny. I tried to see the story behind it, but again, I don't know. I just look at a lot of what we're doing in this whole thing, and it's just dull. It's not. That's what I got named today's show, super dull. So it's gonna be. I watched it. I watched here and there. Saw some things. Didn't really care. I did feel fairly bad for Drake May, the quarterback for the New England Patriots. I mean, he looked like he was in over his head, like he was in quicksand, whatever you want to call it. And I do feel for the guy. I mean, he was out there trying to play in the Super Bowl, make a name for himself. Now, he is at the very, 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 very beginning of his story. Okay? Now, Donald, the other guy, the Seahawks quarterback, he has been shifted around five different times in basically like 5 years, if I remember right. So this is, again, where I look at I'm looking at the people, and I'm looking at different things, and like I said, just didn't really watch it. I didn't think there was that great of anything. Oh, Courtney Allen says, I miss the funny commercials. Well, yeah. Remember the Budweiser? What's up? Or, the Budweiser, the frogs? Bud, wipes, herb. I thought that was pretty good, right? Those were funny commercials. They were fun. The Clydesdale commercial with the eagle, a little overdone, trying to bring in the eagle too hard. You know what I mean? Like, just do the simple Clydesdale with the wagon. What's wrong with that? Just like the good old days, the Budweiser commercial. Remember the old lights in the bars that had the Budweiser light and the little horse-drawn with the carriage thing, or the wagon, and it would go in a big circle. Remember that? And then they had the Bears ham, and they had the Coors waterfall, or whatever it was. Cool stuff. And that's, again. So going back to what we saw yesterday, and again, I wasn't in it, so I don't think I was really that affected by it, so I really don't care in a lot of ways. But at the same time, that was all happening, right? That was all happening. But let me ask you a quick question. This Guthrie chick that got picked up in Tucson and has been kidnapped. Now, first thing I thought of was it is an inside job done by the cartels to send a message to those that the Epstein files are not going away, the human trafficking is not going away, and neither is drug trafficking. I think it was sent as a signal. But I don't know all the answers to that. I just know that a lot of this stuff looks real weird. The news today was trying to they're looking in her septic tank. They're looking in her poop. It's going to be a clue. So, again, I'm not fully involved in all that. I don't really care. Again, I just that whole thing with the hostage situation, whatever it is, proof of life, I think it's all tied to Charlie Kirk. I think it's all tied to TPS USA. I think it's tied to Jeff. Epstein. I think it's tied into the Clintons. I think this has to do with. I mean, at this point, if you're willing to say that the Tucson thing is not tied to anything else that we have now been talking about as a globe, from Uncle Joe being killed in 2019 by a firing squad to all the different stuff. I mean, just absolute different stuff that we're seeing, from the money to the kids to the pharmacies to the medical to the spiritual. All that stuff is all going to be tied in. And I'm going to tell you right now, I think that they're telling us these things about, like, this whole thing with her being kidnapped. I think this is going to be part of it. That we're going to learn how kidnappings happen and how they have been kidnapping family members and how they've been using this as a way of controlling people. You see what I'm saying? I mean, that's just a thing for me. I don't have any real evidence of that, but I will tell you, it doesn't seem to make a lot of sense, the stuff that I'm seeing these people try to push on us. All right, real quick, let's see. Now, going on to the days of news of things. Now, okay, so Seattle Seahawks won last night. I could give two shits, but let me give you one more reason why the Seattle Seahawks even made it to the Super Bowl this year. Guys, listen, one reason, the one and only reason the Super Bowl has the Seattle Seahawks in it, okay? Listen to me. They were required to sell this year because of the owner dying, and it was required as soon as they finished settling the estate, which was required this year, 2026. The Seattle Seahawks are going up for sale today. As of today, they are officially able to be bid upon and romanced to be purchased. The team was sold for $200 million 20 years ago. I think you can add 3 zeros to that, guys. I think you're going to get into the billions on this one, and I do believe it was all done purposeful to make sure that as much money can be pumped into the owners of these as possible. So we're going to see that it'll be a multi-billion-dollar purchase to have the Seattle Seahawks be your team. Now, I'm just shy a couple billion. Just saying, I'm not in the run for it, and I don't know if I really like Seattle. I haven't really been there. But I will tell you this, there are some crazy things tying back in through the Purdy thing that, the whole Alex Purdy and the the good chick and all that. Well, now we're finding out that these people were all being paid by the same exact company. We are now finding out that every single one of these have had all the same type organizers that go all the way to the governor's office. Now, guys, this is what I'm talking about. We continue to see things around us, but we don't always put everything together, and that's where it's hard because they keep it complicated like that, right? So this is a problem for me in a lot of ways because I think we're looking around and we're going, okay, why is this like this? Why does this happen like that? Oh, I mean, guys, when you don't put yourself into their situation, you're not affected by what they do. You are observant of it, and you're not affected by it. And that's one of the things I would say that a lot of people need to do is they need to figure out, again, this goes back to the biblical term, and I'm not trying to get biblical. I'm not trying to do any of that. But this goes back to the biblical term. Be in the world, but not of the world. You can walk around the pedophiles, but don't be a pedophile, right? You can walk around the abusers, but don't be an abuser. You can walk around with those that take away from the people's rights and their freedoms, but you don't need to be that person. You can walk among them. You can point them out. You can see them, and you can roll the tables, right, in the synagogue. And you could talk about the money changers in the synagogue. You can do all that, but you don't want to be of them. You can be in the world, but not of the world. And I think that's really big. That's a big lesson for us right there. So going back to the things of yesterday, now I will say that the super dull was super dull. I don't think there was anything that fantastic about it. I didn't see anything. Like I said, it seemed like there was not even on the channel who was going to have the Super Bowl. There was at 9 o'clock yesterday morning until noon or 1 o'clock a Super Bowl show. Some other channel, I think it was Channel 12 or something like that. I don't know if it was NBC or CBS or ABC or whoever it was, but they had their own Super Bowl show going. And then at like 1 o'clock my time, Central Time, is when Channel 3 or KNSS, the Peacock, decided to go ahead and take over, and they started doing theirs. And they did like 6 hours of that. 6 hours of stories of the Super Bowl, of the Super Bowl, of the Super Bowl. And so when we look around, and that's just overdone, and who gives a crap, right? I mean, golly, I remember it used to be like there was like an hour show before, and then boom, you just boom right into it, and hope for this, you go on to see the halftime show, and you watched right up until they even handed out the Lombardi Trophy. It used to be very interesting. Now it's so bullshit, all this other stuff. Who wants to watch all that crap? Now, there was an alternative to the Super Bowl yesterday, halftime show of Bad Bunny, who, again, I don't know how this guy is, whatever he is, but he got up and did an entire show in Spanish. And I don't know how many of you, kept your junior high, high school, college Spanish classes up to, kept going on that, but I don't know a damn thing the guy was saying yesterday, and I used to be pretty good at Spanish. I know I wasn't fluent, but I was pretty good. So a guy who was picked to represent the world's largest event, most televised event on Earth, Roger Goodell, and all of his $100 million a year, whatever it is he makes, and the 5 different jets he gets to pick from, the first thing he does is going to go ahead and give Trump the middle finger because Trump and Goodell are mortal enemies. That's a truth. That is a truth. Brenda says, I didn't tune in this time. Well, again, that's good. But the guy who got up there and did all that, well, there was an alternative for TPUSA. Turning Point USA got up to do a show yesterday. And they had Kid Rock and others on there, and they decided to do their little show, which is great. And I think it's absolutely fantastic. There was an alternative. Guys, there have been years I wish there would have been an alternative. The only show that I think I ever truly enjoyed was Prince. I think Prince was the most entertaining one. Not even the Janet Jackson nipple slip with Justin Bieber, which tells me that was all staged. We all know that. I haven't really, I don't know of any other halftime show that I can remember other than Prince. Now, I've gone back and watched it a few times, and I thought it was fairly good, and I thought he was really, giving him the business. But the other one was a halftime show for Turning Point USA, which was supposed to be a Christian-oriented, God-oriented show. But, guys, I have a problem with a lot of things. And I know that I have made posts about Charlie Kirk, and I think Charlie Kirk was a great guy, and everything he was trying to do, I think there was a lot of neat stuff that guy did. But I have to tell you that the guy who is now running Turning Point as their number one suspect has pizza tattooed to the inside of his bottom lip. Right down here on the bottom of his lip, it says pizza. It's on his Instagram in 2019. It is still a picture on his Instagram today. If you go to the person running Turning Point, who is now the spokesperson, who was Erica Kirk's ex-boyfriend, ex-fiance, yes, fiance, has now taken over for Charlie Kirk, but has pizza on his bottom lip. Now, guys, I understand that there's going to be transitions, and we're not going to be, we're not going to be happy. The next president, well, he's not like Trump. He's not like how Trump was. I wish we had Trump back. Okay, well, you get to say that when Trump's not president, and you get to say that when Charlie Kirk is not president of his company. But I do have a problem with the situation with Erica Kirk. This whole thing with his suicide or his unaliving or his faking of his unaliving, it's not getting better. It's getting really sloppy. Hey, Edward Quinn, good to see you, buddy. I was wondering. I didn't watch any of the satanic Olympic openings. Oh yeah, Kerry Heiserman said he didn't watch that Olympic opening. I did not either. I did not. I did not start. I did not do that. I didn't watch it, but I saw the pentagram that was in there. Did you guys actually see that? Where between the two towers there was a pentagram. And so again, guys, a lot of the symbolism, I think we really worked too hard at some of it to find it. But when they blatantly put it out right in front of you in the middle of the opening ceremonies, just like right before the last pandemic we had in the Olympics, opening ceremony was a COVID thing, and there was injections, and there was people dying, and all that stuff. So let's do something real quick. I'm going to go back to Turning Point for just a second. And I think Turning Point has all the tools and all the reasons in the world to make such an amazing impact. But why is it now that Charlie Kirk steps out of the way and all of a sudden all the sewage from Turning Point starts rolling out here? We're finding out about Erica Kirk and the orphanage over in and then we have her two different fiancés that she had before Charlie, even though she said she hadn't dated for 5 years before meeting Charlie, which that's not even true because she was literally engaged almost that entire time before she met Charlie. And she had been married and engaged to another guy before that. I'm not making this up. This is all her own shit. This ain't me. But then the fact that the guy who Charlie supposedly was in competition with for Erica's attention or what have you, well, he just happens to show back up about the time Charlie dies. And now he's the guy who's out there being the spokesperson or spokesman for Turning Point. Guys, I said the sad part of it is that we need to continue watching Candace Owens. Here, guys, listen. If Candace Owens was wrong on any of this stuff, do you think for a half a second, if Candace Owens was wrong on any of this stuff, that you don't think that old Trump would step out and just touch Candace and say, Candace is a crazy, Candace is a that, I can't believe she's doing this? I think there's something else going on here. I think we're going to see some stuff. I think things are coming out. But see, again, we get to be a part of that. Terrence Williams said, he says Michael Jackson had the best halftime show. I didn't realize Michael did it. Oh, with the hair? Was that the one he did with the hair where his hair caught on fire? That was the Pepsi commercial thing. That was the Pepsi halftime. So there's some things that happened yesterday and over this weekend that I just want to point out to you that a lot of this doesn't make sense. The abduction in Tucson doesn't make a lot of sense. And it seems to me, I think this is exposing something. I think we're going to see that the cartel has been fully involved in the law enforcement and tainting of things all the way up into Arizona and Colorado and other places like that. I think we're going to see this. The Turning Point USA stuff, the NFL stuff, the child trafficking stuff, the Epstein stuff. Guys, it is falling apart. It is absolutely falling apart faster than I think they can put it all together. The narratives are not doing them any good. Catherine O'Hare, the lady who starred in the Home Alone series, the couple, was it 2 or 3 movies of Home Alone? She died of a blood clot in her lung. And so anyway, I just thought I would mention that. They did release that cause of death today. And so that was out there. Now, over the weekend, there was a couple different stories that came out about on the Olympics. There is the guy, what is his name? Illis? He is like this superior male figure skater. Is it I-L-I-A? Eli? Melanin. He's called the Quad God of figure skating, and he has basically his routines are so difficult. Even if he goes up and he does all the turns and he lands on his ass, he will still outscore anybody who landed anything in there because He's doing so many difficult and high point things, including a backflip in the middle of a routine. He's untouchable. I mean, it is unbelievable what this guy can do. So it's just one of those deals where that's a thing, and he got to do his open skate and was able to do a really good job. He won first place in that. Hey, Maggie O'Leary, good to see you. So that was actually a thing there. But there were a couple other people that decided. There was a Team USA freestyle skier, Hunter Hess, was asked during a presser, well, how do you feel about representing America with all the immigration stuff? And then he got up there and started throwing around, ICE and blah, blah, blah. Well, he started backtracking. Now, here's something I think is actually a really good article that we should be thinking about for all states here. The Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, the FLHSMV, wow, that's short, announced in January that beginning this Friday, February 6th, all driver's license knowledge and skill examinations will be administered exclusively in English. Today, the Florida Department of Transportation Safety and Motor Vehicles announced that beginning Friday, February 6th, all driver's license knowledge and skill examinations will be administered in exclusively English. This change applies to all the driver's license classifications, including exams administered orally. Previous exams for most non-commercial driver's license classifications were offered in multiples of languages, while commercial and commercial learning permits and commercial driver's license knowledge exams only available in English and Spanish. Well, no more Espanol. We are only doing English. So that's a good move, Florida and all states, if we bother to do that, and actually make it illegal that if you are in our state driving, that this is what they need to go as far as doing. And I wish they would do this in the state of Kansas. They make a law. Okay, I'm not big on laws. You know that. And I think we need to take a whole bunch of them off the books. But you make a law that says if you are driving in the state of Kansas and you cannot speak English, then your truck is immediately impounded, okay? And then the person is immediately put into jail, held for 72 hours, and not given bail until court. I think it needs to be like a really big problem. And you know what we wouldn't have in the state of Kansas? Illegals driving trucks. You see a little smirk on my face? I mean, literally, it doesn't matter. English only. English only. No Spanish, no, none of that. Maggie says the voting ballots are in Spanish too. Yeah. Mm-hmm. An Olympian who speaks against America should be sent home. Oh, man, in a minute. All the actresses' organs were backwards. What was that one, Carrie? All the actresses' organs were backwards? What is that one? What were you referring to on that? Was it something I had? That's pretty interesting. Oh, Sarah is here too. I agree with also with the Erica situation. Yeah, it sucks. Sarah's here. We got Sarah. We got Maggie. We got Kerry Heiserman. He's doing his thing. We got Courtney Allen was out here. Dave Glovin, Terrence William. You guys are all killing it. Good job. And even Edwards here today. He was a little slow, but that's all right. Oh, O'Hare. Oh, okay. Yeah. Her organs were backwards. Wow. Her organs are back. Now, by the way, guys, it is possible to have backwards organs inside of your body and still completely be fully functional. I don't know if you knew that or not. Like the heart is turned around, everything is flipped inside the body. That is okay. That is a thing that happens. But if she was just mixed around, somebody was in there chopping around on her own organs, then that's a whole other thing. I don't know about that. So we'll see how that all comes together. Now, where is that article I wanted to talk about? Vance is in Armenia. Vance arrives in Armenia. He's the first sitting vice president to visit the country. So, remember that Brandon Johnson from Chicago? Well, murders are down 30% since Trump did his little insurgency thing, where he went in there with the military, and then all of a sudden, like now murders down 30%. I guess Washington D.C. has yet to have a murder this year, where they have been constantly pushing. They were always having like 10 or 12 a month. Now they're having none. Ghislaine Maxwell went into Congress today was requested to appear in front of Congress, and she said, "I will plead the fifth until I'm given clemency by President Trump." So now she's using her place of position, which I believe some of this had to do with this. I believe that we're going to find out about old Jeffy is going to come out of the woodwork, and we'll find out what actually happens after that. I think this is all it's coming, guys. Yeah, it's going to come. Protest groups keep rotating causes while funding traces to the same leftist donors. By the way, guys, remember I told you about Act Blue and those others, that there's these companies that collect the money, and then money goes in, then money goes back out, and then money goes back out again. Well, that's where it gets real complicated. There's a lot of different things that they're doing the 20 steps of separation, so it's really hard to get back to the origins, and they've done a good job on that. But I've known about this stuff for 8 years. I don't know why we're just now talking about it. This is really ridiculous. It takes so long. Maggie, didn't mean to call you Mallory. I'm sure the Clintons will plead the fifth, and I don't recall. Well, yeah. I don't know. And Hillary's kind of angry. She's kind of an angry old bird. I wonder if she's not going to come out and try to, I ate those kids and I'll do it again. One of the confessions from the witness stand. An activist group called No Ice Philly staged a protest inside a Target in South Philly, leading to the arrest of over 40 demonstrators on February 6th. Oh, I watched this lady. She goes, "Well, this is a public facility. The public is allowed to come in here, so we're not trespassing because we're with the public. And we are the public, so we're here to tell them that they need to..." And I'm like, lady, that's called private property. Just because the public can walk in and purchase things doesn't mean they can't trespass you. It doesn't matter. You're not on government property, which is public property, like the sidewalk or the street or a park or a state or county or city or federal building. Those are public. Target is not. That's called private property owned by the Target Corporation. I watched the video. I was like, lady, you can't. She's on a, "All right, listen, we're here to tell you that you need to make..." This is my megaphone. I don't know what I'm holding here. "You need to make sure that you're goddamn..." And she just I'm like, lady, you can't. It's because you can walk in there. Doesn't mean you're allowed to be in there. They can trespass you. Anyway. More than 100 protesters entered the store chanting, "Ice out. Ice out Target now. Ice out Target now." Huh. That seems effective. You know what I was waiting for is I was waiting for a chant that would just change my mind and really get me to get behind the ice out movement. And I really wonder if this isn't the chant that really puts me over the edge, where I really start to feel human again, and the compassion for all the no one's illegal on stolen land. I can start to feel my cold dead heart starting to feel a little bit of emotion for these people because no one's illegal. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. All right. Ice out of Target now. Ice out of Target now. Was there ICE agents hanging out in Target? Were there targeting Target? Anyway, playing instruments and arguing or urging the company to publicly oppose U.S. immigration and custom enforcement action at its locations. So locations across the country should bend the knee, kowtow to these people who said, ICE out of Target now. ICE out of Target now. ICE out of Target now. Man, I tell you what, guys, I am so close to just being anti-ICE. I think this is the chant that's going to do it for me. I don't know. I'm going to have to let that sink into my soul and my heart. See if I can melt that cold, dead heart of mine, because I love immigration enforcement. After police warned the group to leave, dozens exited the store, but roughly 40 remained seated on the floor and were arrested. Now you will always have an arrest record for being on a protest in a Target floor. That's your moment, buddy. No ICE Philly has organized similar demonstrations at Target stores across Philly, framing the protest as pressure on the company to deny ICE access to its stores and parking lots without judicial warrants. Hey guys, did you know that when you have a federal removal warrant, that supersedes a local county or city judge warrant? It supersedes that. Did you know that? And these people are saying that they can't, that they're denying ICE access. So you need to deny Target. Listen to me. Deny access to your stores and parking lot without judicial warrants. So now they were using the word judicial warrants. So judicial warrants is ones that they're wanting you to hear. They want to hear that judicial because that makes it sound official. Judicial is official. Official, judicial. I'm sorry, I was in the middle of painting my hair blue when I was saying all that. But ICE out. How do I do this? Oh, ICE out of Target now. I got to remember that. I got to get it in here. I know once I get it in here, I know I'm gonna be anti-ICE. I can feel it, guys. I can feel it. I can feel it. But ICE was just shopping at Target. Yeah. So did they get rid of the big bags of ICE in Target too? Or is that just, no? I mean, ICE out of Target now. So what does Starbucks do? The Starbucks chains that are in there, do they have to get rid of their ICE too? I mean, guys, that we have to be genuine about our expectations. What about the concession stand there in Target that does the popcorn and hot dogs and all that? Do they have to get rid of their ICE there? And then what about the grocery store? Does it have an ICE machine that like bags of ICE? Are they allowed to have? Well, bag of ICE means there's a lot of ICE, and we don't ICE out of Target now. Yeah. Okay, so. Group leaders, including Rabbi Linda Holzman. Hey, Linda, when you say rabbi, does that mean you're Jewish or are you something else? Because I thought to be a rabbi, you had to be Jewish, but I don't think they let women be rabbis in Judaism. Just asking for a friend. Argue that Target was effectively aligning itself with ICE and must take a public stand describing the in-store protest as a necessary response to deportations. Let me read that one more. ICE out of Target now. I could just feel the dripping of I just feel my soul melting. I can feel it. I'm starting to feel feelings. I think this is the thing. I think we're having a breakthrough, guys. I really do. So, yeah, Rabbi Linda Holzman. How do you become a rabbi? Is that like when you become a rabbi, do you get like a card? Do you get like hi, I'm Rabbi Jim. I'm our rabbi. Is that what? Okay. The protest is part of a broader decentralized whistle kit strategy modeled on campaigns in Chicago and Minneapolis. Beyond physical whistles, the kit includes Know Your Rights pamphlets, often printed using materials from the Pennsylvania Immigration Coalition and New Sanctuary Movement and the New Sanctuary Movement, both funded through larger philanthropic pass-through such as the Tides Foundation. Oh yeah. Although No ICE Philly describes itself as a all-volunteer, its infrastructure is supported by affiliated organizations. The Party of Socialism and Liberation organized the group Do you realize that by them organizing the group makes them actually kind of not what they say they are? The Party of Socialism and Liberation organized the group's January 26th rally at City Hall, and currently under congressional investigation over ties to billionaire Naval Singham and potential CCP-linked dark money. Guys, this is I think just like the Bad Bunny stuff, I think just like a lot of these things, we're going to be seeing a lot of this stuff come out. It's going to be getting here, but I'm just saying we're going to have to be careful and patient. But a lot of this stuff is coming out. Protesters who were arrested are referred to bail and legal support networks, including the NSM. So protesters who are arrested are referred to bail and legal support networks. Nancy, Sam, Mike, Community Fund, and Juntos Commissary Fund, Juntos, which draw from the same Liberation Fund networks that support SURJ. What is it? SRUJ? Oh, what's SURJ? I don't even know what that is. Showing up for radical justice. That's who SURJ is a national network founded in 2009 to organize white activists in support of radical and economic justice movements operating on the premise that white people have a mutual interest in dismantling white supremacy. So we have a mutual interest in dismantling white supremacy. Do you know that we're only 13% of the world's population? White people are only 13% of the world's population. You do understand that, right? We're not anything. This whole thing of white supremacy and all this bullshit, someone's been lying to you. Someone's been pissing in your Cheerios in the morning and you're not pissed. And working under the leadership of Black and Indigenous and people of color organizations. So what? You want me to, what? So, okay, white people need to work under the leadership of Black, Indigenous, and people of color organizations. Oh, my God. This is not going to end well. Oh, yeah, Maggie says, let him stay in jail overnight with the illegals. Oh, well, that'll change your mind about a lot of things. Let's see here. A notable case study in James and well-documented example of cause overlap and repeated arrests within the SURJ-aligned movement. In 2016, Marscano was arrested in Charlotte while protesting the police shooting of Keith Lamont Scott. In 2017, he was arrested at Charlotte Douglas Airport protesting Trump's travel ban. In 2020, who is this person that we're suddenly reading into here? Oh, is this one of their leaders? Okay, let's continue on here. Let's see here. The no Philly part of the border ice out coalition. God, this is, okay, guys, listen. This is why it's so hard to keep track of everybody's little bullshit thing. Okay, so listen to this. This is the sentence. No Ice Philly, which is the name of a group. No Ice Philly is part of the broader Ice Out coalition and frequently coordinates with the Solidarity Organizing Initiative, SOI, Solidarity Organizing Initiative, which is the same organization that SURJ explicitly partners with to train its members in nonviolent resistance and intervention tactics. Guys, this is why nobody can track all this shit. I mean, you got to put down all these different names. We've got, what is the beginning? Where were some of the beginning, these one? No Ice Philly. And then what was some of the other groups here? We've got quite a few in here. And I don't understand, like, this is, can people keep track of all these things? The No Ice Philly, the NSM Community Fund, the Wantos Commissary Fund, the Show Up for Radical Justice, the Yes URJ, again, then we go to there's 1,000 of these little groups. Is that what we need to do? Hey, Danica, good to see you. Thank you for being here. Should we be like creating a whole bunch of little groups for ourselves? But who's going to give us all this money? Well, by the way, most of all this USAID money is about gone anyway, so we'll see how that goes. Members of SURJ and affiliated groups, which we've heard there's a lot of different groups, have been arrested in a range of charges, including a pending RICO case, as the federal government takes a more aggressive stance against business as usual, in quotes on the thing, tactics and broader anti-ICE demonstrations. On January 28th, Attorney General Pam Bondi announced the federal arrest of 16 individuals in Minneapolis on charges of assault, resisting, and impeding federal officers. Again, guys, I don't know where these people get off like, hey, cop, screw you. Your wife's leaving you. I hope you die alone. Bear, bear, bear. I'm like, guys, I don't know what you think you're doing, but that's not how this works. Anyway. During the January 23 National Day of Action, again, we've got all of these names of these things. Dozens were arrested across the Twin Cities, while many local arrests were for protest-related interruptions resulted in misdemeanor. Federal authorities are prioritizing cases including physical obstruction of agents and interference with operations. The Open Societies Foundation, which is another organization founded by George Soros, have historically provided millions of dollars in grants to organizations like SURJ and its partners, including the ACLU. I thought they were just doing race stuff. I thought we just did. Oh, anyway. Organizations such as the Solidarity Solidaire Network and the Borealis Philanthropy. Why is it Borealis? Both recipients of OSF, which is the Open Societies funding, contributed to the. Oh, jeez. They have in turn contributed to the Atlanta Solidarity Fund, a bail fund supported by Stop Cop City. There's more names in here of organizations than I have ever begun to think of names of organizations. Somehow the SURJ is a 501c3 arm. It's an education fund, reported approximately $1.2 million in revenue in 2022. The Tides Foundation as a major clearinghouse for liberal philanthropic money, including contributions from Soros-linked entities, and allows original donors to remain anonymous. This is, god dang. November 26th, report by Americans for Public Trust identified 5 foreign-based entities that funneled nearly $2 billion. Americans for Public Trust identified 5 foreign-based entities that funneled nearly $2 billion into U.S.-based social justice and climate agendas. Oh, my God. Okay. That is exhausting at best. I don't know who calls me. It's like a telemarketer, I'm sure. All right, guys. Well, a lot of good stuff out there we get to talk about today. And I tell you what, it is absolutely breathtaking to see how we are being taken advantage of by people who really don't care that you know. I think we really sell ourselves short to realize that these people don't care that you know. They want you to know, I think. I feel like they want you to know. I think was that what we're up against? Is that I keep thinking like, they don't want us to know, it wouldn't be a thing, I mean, is that what we're doing to ourselves? All right, guys. Well, I am going to round up the show today. Good stuff seeing everybody out there. Oops, I need to get that out of there. There we go. Now, listen, this is all information bring to you so that when you start hearing people talk about things, you start hearing these people tell you things that, oh, we're just doing this and we're just about, eyes out, target, whatever. I can't even remember the chant was now. I'm not that good at this protesting thing, I guess. Anyway, so this whole thing that we're going to go through here in the next coming years is going to be hard because we're already having a hard time trying to figure it out now. But I do believe we are winning. I do believe we have seen a lot of victories already and that we don't want to give ourselves credit for. But we have to be patient and we have to be the right people for others to look to as we're doing this. Yes, thousands and thousands and millions and billions and trillions of conspiracy stories and things are all coming true faster than we can imagine right now. So anyway, guys, be good to each other out there. Notice that all the stuff that we did over the weekend, it's just going to be a memory by tomorrow, and we'll see what's going on. But there are a lot of things happening this spring. Please be ready for it and be the right people, right? I've always said that. All right, guys. Well, that's going to be about it for me. Remember, guys. Oh, sorry. I'm having a little bit of pain there. Guys, it's been a great day. It's been great seeing you. Karen Walker's here. What? What's up with that? Susan Bly is here. Oh, my gosh. Look at you girls showing up all at the very last second. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. It's been awesome. So remember the 10% we do for our neighbor, our community, our city, our county, our state, our federal government. The more you do for them, the less they have to do for you. Learn how to be selfless and not so damn selfish. The world will be a far, far, far better place, wouldn't it? Don't be Aunt Hillary. Don't be Aunt Nancy. Those people are kind of icky. So remember, hold the line, hold fast. Do not give up. Do not give in. We will win. I promise to make promises I can't keep, guys. You've always been the answer out there. Remember that Constitution, it limits the government. It holds it down, keeps you in power. They are your public servants. Understand who you are and know what your authority is, and you will always be on the right side of everything. Maggie says, she goes, thank you, Jim. Great show. Do appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, guys, do not hesitate and do not live in fear. It's easier to know who you really are and to be authentic than it is to live in the fear that they want you to. Once you start becoming more free, it's a lot more fun out here. Anyway, guys, that's going to be about it for me. I'm Jim Price, the Jim Price Show Daily Update. You guys all be good to each other out there, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.